building 7. It dropped in 6.5 seconds at free-fall acceleration. So we're hoping you'll join us, the 1,500 architects and engineers that I represent. I'm in town from Berkeley, California. We were speaking about this subject. We want a new investigation, not only of this third skyscraper, but the other 2 that came down at free-fall acceleration. I'll give you a DVD. You can take a look at it. We're talking to everybody who will listen. It'll blow you away, man. That's very interesting. Yeah, I'm Richard Gage. This is the Twin Towers. Does that look like an explosion to you or a collapse? Explosion? Why do you say that?
Just because collapse, I see smoke going up, I see stuff going up. And
I see smoke and stuff going up.
Stuff is going down, that's when something collapses.
Gravity works downward, he says.
Yeah, when something blows up, you got smoke going up.
You got smoke going up, billowing out. In fact, 98% of that building's contents was distributed a 1,400-foot diameter all around the building. None of those floors are found at the base. Wow. They're being pulverized. 90,000 tons of concrete in midair.
We're talking about concrete trucks.
Wow. Speaking of concrete, we got to get
Speaking
out of the
road. Concrete, we got to get out of the street.
Take care. Thank you.
How would that be for a... I'm sorry, I thought I'd warn you before he got on us. Yes, yes.
So you never know who's really going to listen. It might be some truck driver. You have to pull, you have to wave down and get him to stop like you're hitchhiking or something. Some people will take this message and really get fired up, like this gentleman here. So you can't discriminate who you're going to talk to. I've had deans of universities tell me, oh, conspiracy theory, even after I show them some of this stuff. They just can't listen, they can't hear. And then you got other people, like deans and this gentleman.
Here comes
it's like one is taken and one is left. I don't know how it works, but we talk to everybody. Here's another example.
Okay. I'd like to introduce you to the host of the entire organization. This is Mr. Richard Gage.
Oh, hi, I'm Richard Gage. I'm in town from Berkeley.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I represent 1,500 architects. Jason's one of them. So I want to show you a picture and see what it looks like to you. Is that a collapse or an explosion?
You know, honestly I don't know. I'm not
No, this isn't about knowing or being an engineer, but just out of your hunch. Does it look like something going down or something going up and out? That's all.
It looks like an explosion, I guess, but I don't really have any kind of
that's clear.
Technical knowledge.
Now, what does that look like? Is that building going down, or is it is it staying there? Here's the first frame, second, and third. It's going down exactly like the Roosevelt building they just took down here 2 months ago, the old housing project.
Okay.
You remember that one?
Yes, sir.
That thing dropped like a rock, and so did this. Now, this is the third skyscraper that collapses uniformly, suddenly, symmetrically, straight down into its own footprint. And at free fall acceleration in the case of World Trade Center 7, 5:20 in the afternoon. They tell us it came down by fire. And fire doesn't do that. Fire can't remove all 82 columns in a building so that it comes down perfectly symmetrically as if none of those columns are giving any resistance.
Right.
What are you studying here on campus?
I'm actually a research assistant.
Cool.
So I'm not actually a student here.
So I'm giving you something else that's probably almost as important to research, and it'll take you about 10 minutes.
Well, okay.
It's this information here that gives you the evidence for the explosive demolition of the third worst structural failure in modern history that most architects and engineers know nothing about because the media didn't tell us. And then also about the explosive demolition of the Twin Towers, which has explosions going off 20, 40, 60 stories down below this zone of destruction. The thick, billowing, enormous pyroclastic-like clouds of pulverized concrete, and evidence of nanothermite composite explosives in all the World Trade Center dust. Okay. This is all very well documented, and there's millions of people across the country, and that's what we're among them. This is We Are Change Atlanta.
Okay.
And they've brought me into town. This is David. This is David, and we've just accosted this fine gentleman.
Yeah, we kind of just grabbed you off the corner.
And we're going to let him go now. So,
well, actually, could you do me one favor?
Oh.
Well, I know you have stuff in your hands, but would you be able to clap your hands 10 times in 1 second?
I'll do it for him.
All right.
Okay, watch how many times I can clap my hands
You
in.
count.
In
You
how many
ready?
seconds?
Just one. Okay, you got like about
Three?
three.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, according to the official story, 10 floors per second collapsed. Now, if the fire was way up here, jet fuel way up there, explosions all up here, what about the rest of the floors? What would cause them to collapse?
How did 110 floors collapse in less than a dozen seconds? This is a really strong building. I'm an architect, so I've studied the structure. It's amazing. A fire doesn't work like that. It starts large, gradual deformations, building might fall over, but not like that. So the problem, of course, is that these events of 9/11 brought us into two major wars, Iraq and Afghanistan. If the roots of 9/11 are in question, then these wars are in question. And we'll hope you'll take a closer look at it.
Well, this is interesting. I don't hope to be a part of any kind of political campaign, but this is
There are no
good stuff
politics
to
here.
So
stuff to think about.
So
I
now,
appreciate the information.
you bet. Any architects and engineers, we really don't have a political agenda, even though I just told you about wars. Had I not done that, and had I just said that we want a new investigation, that's all we want. Let the chips fall where they may. We're not conspiracy theories. We don't have any conspiracy theories.
Right.
But the fact is that this event did start two wars, and hey, it's worth looking at. That was my point.
Absolutely.
It
I think
merits.
that's valid.
Would you like a DVD to look at?
You know,
Or
I don't-
You just want to stick with this.
I will go and research this.
That's cool.
And I appreciate this. And
Well, thanks, man, Dave.
I think it's cool for you guys to shed light on any kind of interesting information.
Awesome.
So thank you for
Appreciate
the
man.
information.
Thanks for stopping.
Okay.
Thank you for taking your time today. Thank you.
And we have a student, David, who's obviously going to take a second look at this information, piqued his interest, and there he goes thinking about the information that he's been given. And we're just delighted and honored to be a part of the wake-up call in America. This is happening all across the country. Every major metropolitan area has a 9/11 truth group, and the 9/11 truth movement that's growing by millions every year. I just let one other gentleman get past me without receiving a DVD, a card, and you never want to be without information to give people. This is a grassroots movement. It only works when you work it. It only works when you're active. You take every opportunity that you can, because when you light one fire, it can light many others. That's how grassroots movements works. That's how these things go viral. You get excited about an injustice or a need in society, and you do your part as a citizen of the United States of America to raise questions, to demand answers. That's what we're doing.
Okay. All right.